This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
NCDC unveils Independence Celebrations Plan, and Minister Duma officiates groundbreaking ceremony of post-PNG. And Department of Petroleum and Energy officers undergo gender equality and social inclusion workshop. Good evening. You're watching National Emtv News. I'm Malcolm Wyra. Thank you for joining us. The 48th Independence celebrations in Port Moresby was launched today at the National Parliament State Function Room. The celebrations will commence on the 14th of September till the 17th with more than 10 captivating activities in different locations within Port Moresby.
As the nation's capital, NCDC has invested substantial resources into this important national event with goals and objectives to celebrate our 48th year of independence, paving the way for our momentous 50th anniversary, and presenting events of such a caliber to become tourist attractions, enhancing our city status as tourist destination. NCD Governor Powers Pakop says we must demonstrate our capability to host and execute events that can captivate both our nation and the global audience.
This year's anniversary sets the groundwork for our 50th Golden Jubilee in 2025. While we mark our 48 years of independence, we also gear for a spectacular 50th anniversary, building upon this year's accomplishments to set the stage for 2025. 2 years out, 10 steps ahead, preparing for a milestone event in 2025.
Member for Moresby South, Justin Tachenko, also stressed that regardless of the challenges that are faced in PNG, our identity is unique and we must protect and promote it.
Yes, we have our difficulties, but any new country has that moving forward. We face many challenges, which we will overcome. Our identity is so unique, it is found nowhere else in the world. And that's one of the last things we have, is who we are, Papua New Guinean. And we must never ever lose it.
All events this year are guided by a set of standard operating procedures, or SOP, to ensure consistency and excellence across various locations. The participating venues remain the same as last year: Elabits, UPNG, Unagi Oval, PAU, and introducing 3 new venues are Murray Barracks, Independence Boulevard, Bomana, and Sir Hubert Murray. These additions contribute to the expansion and diversity of this year's celebrations. Esther Gane, National Emtv News.
Meanwhile, leading up to the 16th of September, PNG Tourism Promotion Authority will assist the National Capital District Commission for the first time this year to showcase and market our culture as a destination. This was announced today by the PNG TPA Chief Executive Officer Eric Mosman Uvovo.
Port Moresby is the face of PNG, and so TPA CEO confirmed that they are ready to work in collaboration with NCDC to showcase our culture because it is our country's asset.
Amazing Port Moresby is a city of 1,000 tribes. It is all of Papua New Guinea. And when we place Port Moresby in a position where it is marketable, it is up there, it is amazing, then the Papua New Guinea experience will be something else. TPA will assist with NCDC to showcase our Port Moresby, to promote and market Port Moresby as a destination. Because it is Port Moresby that people come to visit first before they transit from Port Moresby to other parts of Papua New Guinea.
The innovation put into events this year is aimed at igniting our sense of patriotism while unveiling the beauty of our culture and the resilience of our people. NCD Governor Powers Pakup says this is amplified by the amazing Port Moresby Independence Parade, designed to showcase our government, our nation, and most importantly, the people. He made an appeal to everyone, encouraging the public for active participation in the 48th independence celebrations.
Despite all our trials and tribulation, challenges, and whatever dramas we have, I can't see myself being from another country. I'm proud and I'm ready to celebrate 48 years, preparing for 50 years Golden Jubilee. What a story.
NCDC will formalize its partnership with TPA through the signing of an MOA tomorrow. Esther Gane, National Emtv News.
The Public Employees Association, or PEA, of PNG is the oldest union in the country with membership from the public service of PNG. The National Executive Committee members were sworn in today and will undergo their first induction, which started today and will end tomorrow, Friday, the 1st of September, 2023.
Amen.
The 38th inauguration of Public Employees Association was held today in Port Moresby.
I, of PA, do swear solemnly and sincerely.
This saw the swearing-in of 14 PEA National Executive Committee members, 6 members from the National Capital District, and 2 representatives from all 4 regions throughout the country. In delivering the keynote address, Industrial Registrar Helen Saleo highlighted leadership as the theme of this event.
Nations and empires rise and fall on leadership, even so for PEA. What is leadership? At the most basic level, we need to distinguish between dominance and leadership.
Ms. Saleo further elaborated on the good qualities of a leader.
It is believed that if managers develop skills, they may be able to transform them into tangible leadership development. Based on assumption that certain leadership behaviors can be observed through skill building and thought. What are these skills? Team building, public speaking, effective negotiation skills.
The former PEA Secretary General Peter Toggs shared his take on the goals of the association.
There must be an up-to-date space of policy and legislation to make our interventions as a union. We are not there yet. We are not there yet. Our public service is crying out foul here. For political convenience, they've increased the number of departments or ministries.
The theme for this year's PEA inauguration is Living a Legacy by Living a Legacy. Amanda Ilaitia, National Emtv News.
9 employees of the National Housing Corporation will undergo training at the Pacific Institute of Leadership and Governance as part of the Memorandum of Understanding signed today by the Acting Managing Director of NHC, Abel Toll, and PILAG CEO, Michael Barroby.
The signing today officiates the progressive training of the 9 employees of the National Housing Corporation's continued learning pathway with PILAG. Barroby thanked the National Housing Commission and Abel Toll, who is also undertaking courses at the PILAG. Barroby also commended Toll and his team.
In terms of implementing the policies that you have, so we are here, it's a right place that you have chosen, and we work together. As I've said, this whole of government working together, so that we become good organizations producing good results at the end of the day, and then at the end of the year, we get what the government wants from us.
The trainings and skilling courses that are versed by PILAG facilitators are given according to the roles that the employees also within NHC. Philemon Tapol, the Training, Performance and Evaluation Manager at NHC, gave the upskilling extent of the current employees.
Other officers, like they have to come to certificate courses or diploma, depending on their qualification and position.
Toll went on to head the importance of upskilling its employees for the quality and progression of the organization.
Before an officer is employed, you have to go through the proper induction process and to correct those legacy issues and everything. It's better to upskill our officers. So we've started with 9, but upon signing this MOU now, it will provide, my manager here is working on a training plan. So every officer is put to a proper career pathway.
The training that the 9 employees are taking is a progressive training component of PILAG's courses and requires the training to be fully undertaken by the undergraduate professionals. Sharon Engnui, National Emtv News.
Meanwhile, Acting Managing Director of the National Housing Corporation, Abel Toll, before signing the MOU, stressed the importance of public servants to upskill their professional skills and training.
Upskilling an employee is about learning new skills to be better at their current job and in their career paths. The National Housing Corporation, under the stewardship of Acting Managing Director Abel Toll, is turning a new chapter with the signing of the MOU with PILAG today. Toll said public servants should go through a proper induction to make them more competent in their work and to discontinue nepotism in workplaces.
Before you become a public servant, you have to go through the induction process. And I see that that's one of the reasons there's a lot of corruption and breakdown in our department, is that most of our officers were, plugged out from whoever becomes the MD picks out his one-talks, and it's happening, not only our department but everywhere.
Michael Barrowby, the CEO of PILAG, also supported what Toll said and said programs at PILAG are designed to upskill public servants.
What they will do is they will go through, as per your request, what can be done. We can be able to identify a training need, and then be able to develop training programs and develop those and deliver them out there. And at the end of the day, you have a competent people that will be able to assist you, and you become, you become a better performing MDs and CEOs and department heads in this country. And all this glory, all these things depend on our staff. And staff motivation through training, what you're doing through PILAG, will be a great milestone for your organization.
PILAG is currently running courses that is designed for public servants who are interested to upskill their professional qualifications. Sharon Engnui, National Emtv News.
National Emtv News continues after the break with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching National Emtv News. A significant event has taken place today where the Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, William Duma, and the Managing Director for Kumul Consolidated Holdings, Professor David Kavanamur, and other executives of Post-PNG officiated the groundbreaking ceremony of Post-PNG's logistics new warehouse, storage and distribution facility at Motukea.
Minister for State-Owned Enterprise.
Post-PNG, renowned for its postal services in Papua New Guinea since the 90s, has now transformed into a logistic company due to the declining of the postal service business in the country. Minister for State-Owned Enterprises William Duma says that digital transformation is driving significant change in the postal sector all over the world, and Post-PNG recognizes the need to adapt and diversify its services. This event marks the beginning of a new chapter for post-PNG as it embraces its commitment to modernizing its operational infrastructure and staying at the forefront of the industry's advancements. Minister Duma emphasized on the budget of the state-owned enterprise.
Government, in case most of you forget, is that government is a big enterprise. It is the biggest enterprise in our country with a budget of 20 billion plus. No other company operating in this country has a big budget. Most of the companies, starting from the oil and gas companies and even mining companies, have a small budget, but they make a lot of money. Whereas the government has a big budget of 20 billion kina plus. It's an enterprise on its own, which means there's work out there for post-PNG. And I'm pleased as a minister to hear that despite all the challenges, you've been able to secure an important contract from the Department of Health. That should demonstrate to the other departments that our very own post-PNG can provide competitive services at cheaper prices.
Managing Director for Kumul Consolidated Holdings, Professor David Kavanamur, encouraged post-PNG to partner up with other strategic partners.
Company owns about 44 postal services across the country, spanning 22 provinces, and these are assets that post-PNG can utilize in terms of partnering with other partners such as the National Development Bank, our new commercial bank, the People's Micro Bank. You can strike strategic partnership with them to utilize all these facilities that you have.
The new warehouse is expected to act as a central hub for storage and distribution, contributing to the growth of businesses and supporting economic activities in the country. Amanda Elaitia, National MTV News.
Over 90 officers from the Department of Petroleum and Energy received certificates after undergoing a 2-week workshop for mainstream and sanitation program of the Gender Equality and Social Inclusion Policy. This was facilitated by the Department of Personnel Management.
GESI program is a cross-cutting sectoral policy across all government departments, which the Department of Petroleum and Energy has picked up. According to the department secretary, David Manau, the department has been supportive towards promoting and reflecting on this GESI policy.
This has also evolved since COVID-19, I would say, where government has looked at new ways of living and new approach of health and sanitization. So my department has grasped this, and we have fully, under my leadership, we have fully supported this program. Within the department, it's not only GESI that includes females, but males as well in the whole program.
According to Mr. Manau, they have covered 4 batches over the last 2 weeks and highlighted that this training enables staff to understand what the policy is all about and announced that the department's continued commitment towards implementing the policy.
Department have given our commitment to support this going forward. So we will have in the structure of the department in the near future positions which will have permanent GESI officers. We will continue to do mainstream workshops and support the policy and improve on the policy. So that's basically where we're heading to.
Proud Secretary Manau gave a brief on how his department has shown support towards the GESI policy.
We've done well in the last 3 years. We've promoted women into senior management positions. For example, the registrar of the petroleum licensed tenements in the country is a female officer, Joy Matange, and we have the assistant director for the explorations branch in the department is also a female officer, Boyo Arwa, and the policy assistant director is also a female officer, Lekyu Nindim, and the finance and accounts administration assistant director. These officers have gained merits and experience which have promoted them into those positions. With the policy, it has enhanced the support of both male and female officers into sanitization and mainstream workshopping.
In the meantime, DPM Deputy Secretary Constance Baisi congratulated them and urged them to uphold the values and principles of Jesse.
We congratulate you on this completion of this program. Jesse, as we know, is not going to work on its own. It's you and me who's going to make that work. And by ensuring that you've gone through this and now you're well aware of systems or actions or decisions that you see that may not reflect or embed the values of GESI principles and values, it is now your duty and responsibility to ensure that these are addressed.
Of the 91 participants that attained their certificates, 64 were males and 51 were females. Sharon Engnui, National MTV News.
The West New Britain provincial government, under the leadership of Sasindran Mutuvel, has supported various churches in the province through funding. This is to ensure that people have access to quality services and fostering a working collaboration between churches and the government for effective service delivery.
A funding of 100,000 kina was made to the Anglican Church in Kimbe to rebuild their church that got burnt in 2012 due to an electrical fault. West New Britain Governor, on the occasion of presenting the check to Father Wilson Makele, made an appeal to the governing bodies of churches to ensure quality outcome of such commitment.
So, appeal kilomita solosem. One money ikolo usak People make use of this law, me proud law. People strongly believe, lo side law, provincial government. People strongly believe. Suppose me give him 1 kina lo church, people give me valuable 2 kina. A minimal same. Suppose me give him lo contractor. Me give him 1 kina, I'll by giving me 50 toya. Because of course contractor by need lo make him profit. Me look him mama master lo look him this la kind quality building and staff talk also health Anglican health headquarters lo apply. Me like him this like and quality you must bring him lo construction lo church too. So that time by staff also mon plak and permanent facility na as much as possible you plak try use him brick na concrete lo build him so that time facility by permanent.
Governor Mutuvel highlighted the importance of government and churches working in collaboration.
Last week lo time lo Repentance Day too. When we build infrastructure lo government also market. People are like looking to also churches to by building infrastructure lo hub lo worship na prayer na this la. That's why people are giving 1 million to the Catholic Church. People are too desperate lo looking churches and by building some good quality infrastructure where emi fit lo all man Mary can go lo worship. So we are very very keen to work a partner with all our churches. We are very keen to work with all our churches. We appeal people also. That is the only last research you got lo provide him spread him this good message. At the same time too lo bringing service come close to lo people lo remote area.
Meanwhile, the provincial government also presented 100,000 kina to the Kimbe Lutheran Church to build their pastor's house and presented a church truck to the Galilo Governing Church in the Oskins LLG. Sharon Engnui, National MTV News.
The Nawaib District Authority has donated roofing irons to the Lutheran Revival Church in Arab. This is towards the completion of the church building.
The roofing irons will assist with the complete construction of the church building. Nawai MP Theo Pelgen said his government will continue to support all churches in his district. He said the spiritual growth of his people is important and the church provides an avenue for peace and reconciliation in the community. NDDA Women Representative Rebecca Michael said NDDA recognizes the importance of women's participation in church and that DDA stepped in to assist. Such support is a first of its kind for the church. Gladys Killer, National MTV News.
The 36.5 kilometers ring road project in the Rigo North LLG of Rigo District in Central Province has been completed by the Koya Investment Company Limited. This ring road will now serve 20 council wards of North Rigo LLG who have been suffering from the lack of road access for the last 27 years. The Ring Road project was funded by the Central Provincial Government under the Works program.
It was revealed that the road project will pave access for over 17,000 locals situated within the project area. The Rigo Inland Ring Road project was declared by Prime Minister James Marape during his visit to Boragaina village in 2020 and was constructed at a cost of 27 million kina. The owner of Koya Investment Company Limited, Mr. Biari Ubuna, thanked the leaders and people of Rigo North for working together with the constructor and successfully completing the project. The acting police station commander of Kwikila Police Station, Sergeant Bobby Ogara, added that the unreported crimes, including rape and other sexual offences in North Rigo, are high due to no road access and the lack of police presence over the years. However, with road access now, the police can enforce the law and maintain their presence in the remote parts of Rigo district. Respective community leaders of Rigo North gathered together recently at Dilikomana village to acknowledge key partners in the project for its successful completion. Amanda Ilaitia, National MTV News.
Now we take a look at the Nesfan market report. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2770 in the interbank market. At BSP, your kina was buying $0.2695 $0.4135 Australian dollars, $0.2390 euros, and 39.02 Japanese yen. Looking at the commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, coffee closed higher, cocoa closed higher, copra closed higher, palm oil closed lower, crude oil is trading higher, and copper closed higher. On the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed higher, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. National MTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National MTV News. Moving to overseas news now, and 3 people have been killed after a landslide struck a mine in Bolivia while rescuers tried to save other people trapped in the mine.
The disaster unfolded in just a matter of seconds at Mapiri on Sunday. It left several people trapped, and it's still unclear how many people remain underground. Search and rescue efforts are continuing.
They go 30 to 40 metres into the interior of a surface and start extracting the gold. The information I have is that at one of those pits, a mudslide happened. We don't know exactly how many people have been trapped.
The most powerful storm to hit Florida has made landfall with strong winds and rain that caused widespread flooding and damage to properties.
There is widespread flooding. Power lines are down. One of the storm chasers saw an entire gas station toppling over, caught that live on film. But it doesn't appear at this stage that there has been a large loss of life. A couple of deaths in road accidents were being attributed to the storm. But in the latest update I saw from the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, he said there were no confirmed fatalities as yet. Now, of course, it's only now the search and rescue crews will be able to go into those areas where people were asked to evacuate. There were some voluntary evacuation orders, some mandatory, but some people, as you'd imagine, chose to stay. So it's not quite clear yet what a possible death toll would be. Certainly widespread damage. Ron DeSantis was also saying this storm moved quite quickly over the land, and he thought that that perhaps had led to less flooding than might initially have been feared. The storm is now tracking up to Georgia Georgia and South Carolina and then further up to North Carolina. Authorities in Georgia are saying, look, the threat is real, and President Biden was making some remarks a short time ago also saying this is still a very dangerous storm. What residents in Georgia and South Carolina and still Florida are being told is there could still be a significant storm surge. Some areas did see a surge of about 5 meters, and they're saying that that threat is still possible, that there could still see a surge in water levels. As far as North Carolina, they're saying there could be flash flooding in the coming days. Now, we heard from the head of FEMA, Deanne Criswell. It hasn't been long since she was briefing us on the Maui wildfires, and she told reporters that this kind of event, that there's more of them to come.
I know it hasn't been very long since I have been up here briefing all of you, but I think that this really is indicative of the pace of the major disasters that we are seeing across the nation. And the reality is we are just now approaching peak hurricane season. In addition to responding to the current storms, as well as other incidents, we have to remain focused on making sure that we are also preparing people across the nation for these types of extreme weather events.
A rare blue supermoon, the closest full moon to the Earth, has dazzled stargazers around the world. It made a spectacular sight over Europe.
It made a spectacular sight over Europe, where it appeared large over the ancient temple of Poseidon near Athens. Across Asia, keen sky watchers gathered at observation decks to catch a glimpse. And here's how it looked in Africa. The moon's noticeably bigger and brighter, but why is that? Well, in its path around Earth, the moon doesn't have a perfectly circular orbit. Sometimes the moon is physically further away from us, and sometimes it's closer to Earth. The term supermoon refers to the point when the full moon is at the closest point of its orbit around the Earth, and a blue moon is when the full moon appears twice in a month. The moon doesn't change size, but because it's closer to Earth, it looks bigger and brighter to us. And you may be able to see it tonight, but if you miss out, you'll have to wait until the next blue supermoon, that is in 2037.
National MTV News continues after the break with True Guy Sports. Stay with us.
True Guy Sports.
Welcome to True Guy Sports. The General Secretary for PNG Kickboxing Federation, Eddie Kavina, is appealing to the government of PNG to partner with the federation to support the kickboxing sporting code.
Mr. Kavina revealed that kickboxing has not received any form of support from the government over the years. He said it has been a struggle for the federation to keep the program running. However, through funding from corporate sponsors, they are able to deliver and keep the code of kickboxing alive.
Kickboxing has put our country on the world map through the headhunter, our own Stanley Nardics.
Kavina added, the Enga province has a lot of kickboxers as well. Hence, he is urging the leaders of Enga to partner with the federation to appoint a new kickboxing president for the province. He further added, the aim of extending this kickboxing code to other provinces is to get youths involved in the sport. Kavina believes this is an avenue that will allow the participation of youths to keep them away from causing problems in their communities.
Kickboxing is ready to deliver our programs into Enga and into Southern Highlands, if only the government can come on board and support our initiative, our programs, in terms of funding assistance.
Gladys Kila, True Guy Sports.
The Southern Highlands Kickboxing Association is now a fully recognized association by the PNG Kickboxing Federation after 15 years.
The president for PNG Kickboxing Federation, Stanley Nandex, and the Federation Secretary, Eddie Kavina, were there to present a certificate of recognition. Mr. Nandex said since its establishment, the SHP-KBA has never had a proper administration to run its programs. He said the association has a reputation in producing boxers who are making waves in the international arena.
2002 is now making a wave in the world, and that was part of the champions who have come out from Southern Highlands Kickboxing Association.
He added, as part of the PNG KBF moral obligation, in partnership with the SHP KBA, they see kickboxing as an avenue to engage youths to avoid law and order issues in the province.
A lot of stories about Southern Highlands in terms of the violence and a lot of activities that's been happening. We are now making this appointment to work in partnership with Morgan coming on board is a credit to us as a federation and association.
President for SHP KBA, Morgan Mendepo, said Southern Islands Province has so much potential in producing kickboxers. Giving his take on the kickboxing statistics in his province.
The statistics and all these, the past PNG games, we have been, at least we have been very competitive in getting some goals.
Mendepo added he looks forward to work with all stakeholders within his province to raise the standard of kickboxing. Gladys Kila, Chukai Sports.
Chukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
The weather forecast for the next 24 hours. For the southern region, Port Moresby City, partly sunny and fine. Daru, partly sunny and fine. Kerema, mostly fine and partly cloudy. Alatau, mostly fine. Pomodeta, partly cloudy with brief evening showers. Looking at the Momasa region, Ley City, partly cloudy with few showers. Medeng, partly cloudy with few evening showers or two. Wewak, cloudy with few evening showers. And Vanimo, cloudy with evening brief showers. Over to the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, brief showers. Kavieng, few showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Kokopon Rabaul, partly cloudy with evening showers. Kimbe, windy with possible brief evening showers. And Buka, few showers and possible thunderstorms, then cloudy. Looking at the Highlands region, Maltagan City, partly cloudy with few showers. Goroka and Kundiawa, partly cloudy with possible evening drizzles. Mendi and Wabek, partly cloudy with brief showers and drizzles.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that wraps up the news, sports and weather for Thursday, the 31st of August 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.